and welcome back to Living as Carmen with me, Carmen. I'm gonna talk about my spiritual journey. This is part one. I think for all this spiritual stuff I tend to talk about, I'm gonna put a number by it. So for those that are more interested in my spiritual talks and stuff, that you can kind of go straight to it instead of like looking through it. You already know that kind of has its separate thing. So this is my first spiritual talk. I'm gonna begin how I started on my spiritual journey. It started back when I was 24 going on 25. So this is back in 2015. It started around May, June, around that time. And I remember because unfortunately it was after a breakup I had with my husband. We ended up, working through and whatever. But it was after a breakup that we had. We've been together for, like I said, like 13 years. And we've had 2 breakups, each one for 6 months. And we started dating basically at 17, 18 years old. And we broke up around between 20 and 21 and then 24, 25. It's ironic because it's kind of like prime ages. So it makes sense to me because when you start a young relationship, you're not only growing individually, but you're also growing as a couple. There's a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs. After this breakup, I started like reflecting on myself, looking back on my relationship and how I was and how I wanted to be. So I was really hurt after this breakup, right? You're trying to, pick up your pieces and trying to create and find like who you really are without this person. We were almost together for 8 years. I had to find myself and how to create myself and meet myself again. In that relationship, I noticed that my self-esteem was kind of low and I had created what I thought I must say at the time, my boyfriend, even though he's my husband now, but I created on what I thought my boyfriend wanted to be with. And I created this, I should look like this, I should dress like that, because that's what I thought he wanted. I went through that phase. So now, at 24, 25, I really wanted to know who I was. I wanted to create who I was, and I started without really knowing what spiritual terms was. I was doing certain things. The first thing was really trying to meet who I was. Like, who am I? Like, who is Carmen? I wanted to accept who she was, and I wanted to love her for that. So I did a lot of work between self-love and self-acceptance. Like, it kind of like correlated to each other. Like, that was like really the first steps of my healing. My first steps of my spiritual journey all started within myself. It didn't start with other people. It literally started within myself because I kind of knew and understood that I had to create my own happiness. I had to create my own peace within myself. Like, I had to love myself and I had to accept myself for others to accept and love me for me. How did I do that? The first book, my soul sister brought it to my attention and I read it. It was called Living in Joy. I finished that book really quickly. The author is by Sanaya something. I'll put the link down below. There's 3 parts to the series. That was the first book, kind of like spiritual book I read, and it was about living in joy. Great book. I recommend it. That's when I basically started doing my affirmations, putting affirmations up everywhere. I had like little like picture frames that had cute little sayings, and one was like, don't forget you're amazing, and like, good morning, beautiful. I'm trying to bring up my best self. Real quick break. So this spiritual journey talk can go on for hours and hours. So I'm doing parts because I want to focus on one thing. Yeah, so it was all about building myself back up, starting from the inside out, reminding myself who I am, creating who I want to be. I want to be confident in who I am. So if I want to look like this all the time, I'm gonna be confident about it. Like, I don't have to wear nice clothes all the time or put makeup all the time. Like, if I want to wear Birkenstocks one day, and then I want to wear Jordans the one day, and then the other one I want to wear Converses, and then I want to rock my red bottoms. Like, I can do all of that, and it doesn't define who I am. It's just ways of like how we can express ourselves when we dress up or when we dress. So, you know, that was like one thing that I really had to work on. I kind of feel more like my best self and my most comfortable just being in my true self. Even when I am done up and I'm all prettied up, like, that's me too. Part 1 of my spiritual journey, realizing what my flaws were, which was my low confidence, my low self-esteem, and started working on that. Essentially was my self-love, self-acceptance, and starting to create and imagine who I wanted to be. So that is part 1 of my spiritual journey. Thank you for tuning in. I will be doing more spiritual journey talks. So if you like those will continue to come in. Like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share my video, please. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing digital space with me. I appreciate you all so much. Also, comments, thoughts, concerns, whatever you want to let me know, leave those things down below. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media accounts, Living as Carmen, and I will see you next time. Peace and love.